As the lead petitioner, Solicitor General Preligar was allowed to rebut what had been argued before the court.
But I think it's important to recognize that my friend's arguments would equally apply to a nationwide ban if this were enacted by Congress. And so I think that the court should keep that in mind when thinking about the level of scrutiny here.
The problem with this argument is that Congress is not constitutionally authorized to regulate medical treatments. That hasn't stopped them in the past, but it should at least be pointed out here. And really, is the question any different for a state law versus a federal one? In my opinion, this argument's a misdirection.
Finally, I think the court should think about the real-world consequences of laws like SB 1. Consider its effects on Ryan Rowe. As Justice Sotomayor noted, Ryan's gender dysphoria was so severe that he was throwing up before school every day. He thought about going mute because his voice caused him so much distress. And Ryan has told the courts that getting these medications after a careful consultation process with his doctors and his parents has saved his life. His parents say he's now thriving, but Tennessee has come in and categorically cut off access to Ryan's care, and they say this is about protecting adolescent health. But this law harms Ryan's health and the health of all other transgender adolescents for whom these medications are a necessity. And the state says it doesn't even want the courts to take a look at whether this protects adolescent health, but the reason Ryan can't have these medications is because of his birth sex, and a sex-based line like that can't stand on rational basis review.
Again, the role of the court is not to consider the consequences of a law. That's the role of the legislative branch. The court is there to apply the laws to the controversy before them. Justice Sotomayor similarly used a young woman who wants to live as a boy to make an emotional argument rather than a legal one. What the justice described, and the Solicitor General repeated here, are the effects of a mental disorder. Her nausea and psychosomatic muteness were not caused by a medical condition or a problem with her body, but a problem with her mind. Yet before she reaches the age of consent, her parents and her doctor wants to put her on drugs, the long-term use of which can cause serious medical harms, and that is just for the puberty blockers. If Ms. Rowe truly wishes to modify her body to look like a boy, she'll also have to take testosterone, which in women causes hyperandrogenism, atrophy of the lining of the uterus, blood cell disorders, and an increasing risk of heart attack.